died a few months later of a blood clot in his lungs.
Charles Vallow had $1 million life insurance policy.
Although Charles had already filed for divorce, prosecutors say Lori wanted to collect life insurance money so she could marry her boyfriend and soon-to-be husband. Lori
Vallow is why Charles is dead. Lori Vallow, who wanted to be Lori Daybell, and Lori Vallow, who wanted Charles's money.
The defendant eventually married Chad Daybell, a self-published purveyor of doomsday prophecies. He was sentenced to death last year for his role in the killings of Daybell Vallow's two youngest children. In her latest jailhouse interview, Vallow Daybell told our CBS affiliate KPHO she's not on a mission to convince anyone of her innocence.
I think I'm there to just tell the truth. I have training to be an attorney. There's something that I figured out when I got to this jail. You know, this experience has been 5 years running.
Vallow Daybell says she hasn't decided yet whether she'll testify at the trial. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Phoenix.
Here at home, a new report released this week shows child abuse cases in Hawaii were up slightly in 2024 compared to the previous year. The Children's Justice Center of Hawaii says just over 1,800 cases were reported, which is up 7 cases compared to 2023. The study found the most prevalent form of abuse was sex assault. It cites national research which shows that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually assaulted by the time they are 18 years old, with the vast majority of cases going unreported. There was also an uptick in physical abuse cases, particularly in West Hawaii, where the number doubled from the previous year.
The stats that you have are only the kids that we know of. We know there are many children out there that do not disclose immediately what had happened to them for all the different reasons. It could be a trusted adult that's abusing them. It could be someone in their school. It could be somebody in their family.
So I would say every time we air something in April, we get a number of calls. We get a number of calls from survivors, people who are calling to say this happened to me, and I never knew who to call or get help from.
Children's advocates are now backing Senate Bill 281. If it passes, it will make the penalty for starving a child a form of torture and would be classified as a Class A felony.
It is just recently heard before the House and pending going over to the Senate again. And so we are very thankful that they have reinserted language relating to deprivation of food and basic necessities, and we think it's a very important tool that is going to be necessary for torture cases that we see in our community.
If you suspect a child is being abused or neglected, you can report it at the number on your screen. President Trump threatened new tariffs on China today, even as Wall Street continues to slide. The development comes as Israel's prime minister becomes the first foreign leader to visit the White House since the president announced reciprocal tariffs. Erica Brown has more from Capitol Hill.
President Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House Monday. On the agenda, the ongoing war in Gaza, Iran's nuclear program, and the 17% reciprocal tariff on Israeli goods Trump announced last week.
We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly.
The meeting came as the volatility on Wall Street continues. President Trump said he is not looking to pause the tariffs while countries negotiate. He also threatened more tariffs against China in response to Beijing's 34% retaliatory tariffs on the U.S.
If that tariff isn't removed by tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're putting a 50% tariff on above the tariffs that we put on.
Investment bank Goldman Sachs issued a new forecast saying a recession has become more likely, even if Trump reverses course. Lawmakers are also sounding the alarm on the potential impact of tariffs as they explore bipartisan ways to reassert congressional control over trade policy.
I urge the president to back off before it's too late.
President Trump, who hosted the World Series champion LA Dodgers Monday, says he spoke with Japan's prime minister ahead of reciprocal tariffs taking effect Wednesday. White House officials say more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to try to negotiate his sweeping tariff policy. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, it was a busy weekend for Honolulu firefighters as they were needed at multiple building fires across Oahu. In Kalihi, an arson investigation is now open after someone allegedly tried to light an apartment door on fire. It happened at around 8 Saturday morning along Pua Lane. We're told the fire forced 8 people inside the unit to evacuate. No injuries were reported and crews were able to quickly put out the flames. HPD has only said they are looking for a male suspect in the case. Well, this video shows a house fire along a lava place in Waianae. You can see the smoke billowing up there. HFD crews were called to the scene just after 5:30 Saturday afternoon. They were able to get it under control in minutes. 2 men needed to be rushed to the hospital, including a 62-year-old who we're told was in serious condition. The fire left 5 people without a home. No word yet on the cause. And investigators are looking into what sparked a 2-alarm blaze last night in Kaimuki. Firefighters were called to a Hina place shortly before 5, where they found smoke coming from the back of a 2-story home. They got it under control in less than 15 minutes. No one was found inside during the search of the home, and no injuries were reported. The family of a Makakilo man killed in a skateboarding crash last week is speaking out. They're hoping his life story will raise awareness about mental health and hardship after prison. Eddie Dowd has more.
So that was just his escape and his therapy, you know, and it was his passion.
Isaiah Lejoie remembers how much his older brother loved skateboarding down Makakilo Drive, a way to deal with his severe anxiety.
It was just a release, you know, and, you know, so many people, you know, go road rage, go beat someone up, or, you know, go hurt other people. He loved people too much, where he's like, you know, I'm not going to put other people at risk. I'll put myself at risk, but I'll get my medicine and be free skating.
But on March 31st, that routine would turn deadly for 38-year-old Isaac Villegas. Police say while going downhill, Villegas hit the back of a car that had stopped at an intersection, sending him into the path of another car that was making a left turn. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, where he later died. Speed, drugs, and alcohol do not appear to be factors.
I heard it on the radio that a skateboarder, Makakilo, critical condition 38, and then I asked God to not let it be Isaac.
He would take care of other people before he would take care of himself.
Isaac's family says he was in and out of prison over the last 10 years, but they say it was a recent stint at the Halava Correctional Facility that changed him the most.
This post-release from prison, he was really tormented mentally, you know, just adjusting. It was tough on him, you know. It was, you know, there was just a lot of chaos, a lot of, you know, craziness happening.
They are now speaking up in the hopes that his story will put a spotlight on the need for more resources in prison that help inmates prepare for life afterwards.
Maybe even revamping the mental health laws, because again, when we called the crisis mental health line, they did come out, but because he didn't want to talk with them, he was, you know, so paranoid, thinking that people were going to do him in. He didn't even want to talk to the person.
A GoFundMe has been set up for Isaac's family to help with funeral expenses and a memorial. You can find the link on our website. Eddie Dowd, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Eddie. Well, if you're set to take a domestic flight out of HNL, get to the airport early. That's the advice from state transportation officials due to a staffing shortage at the facility's agriculture inspection stations. Now, since yesterday, only 1 station will now be open in lobbies 7 and 8 after 8 a.m. This comes after 12 inspectors lost their jobs following the Trump administration's mass layoffs.
And happy Monday, everybody. We've got a large surf out on northwest and east-facing shores. The National Weather Service has issued high surf advisories. Earlier, some of them were high surf warnings for the northwest and east-facing shores of Kauai, Oahu, north and west-facing shores of Molokai, north-facing shores of Maui, and also the windward portions of Hawaii Island. These are all going to last till 6 a.m. on Tuesday. North-facing shores could see surf between 15 to 20 feet. And you can just take a look at our surf and shoreline forecast out there for this afternoon. North-facing shores around 14 to 18 feet. West-facing shores 8 to 12, seeing a little bit of a boost in town and relatively messy out on east-facing shores. I'll give you a further breakdown of this coming up. We'll also talk about the return of the trade winds.
Thank you, Drew. Ahead on This Is Now, the nation's controversial health secretary is changing his support of the measles vaccine after another child dies of the virus in a growing Texas outbreak. Plus, a look at some of the items consumers and businesses are rushing to buy overseas before President Trump's tariffs impact prices. We're going to have that story in 2 minutes. Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a longtime vaccine skeptic, has made a dramatic switch on the measles vaccine now that a second child in Texas has died of the virus. Janet Shamlian has more.
Another child dying from measles in a rural West Texas Mennonite community. Family and friends gathering Sunday for the funeral of an 8-year-old girl. The Texas Health Department confirming the child's death. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attended the service. Kennedy, for the first time, expressing support for the measles vaccine. In a tweet saying, the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine. He said he is working with Texas health officials to control the outbreak. It comes as Kennedy has faced widespread criticism for suggesting alternative treatments, like vitamin A and cod liver oil. Doctors say those will not prevent measles.
The secretary is one of the leading proponents of the myth that these vaccines cause autism. And so for him to be acknowledging that one of the most important tools we have to curb this outbreak is vaccination is really important here.
The 2 deaths are more than the U.S. has seen from the highly contagious disease in more than 2 decades. Measles are generally preventable through a 2-course vaccine. There are now 642 confirmed cases across 22 states, 499 of those in Texas, including more than half a dozen cases at a daycare in Lubbock.
We have 7 cases within that daycare, in addition to multiple children that are currently under investigation.
Doctors say the 8-year-old girl died from measles pulmonary failure. She was unvaccinated and had no other health conditions. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Lubbock.
The economic reality of tariffs is starting to set in for shoppers across the country. Now, some are rushing to buy now before prices go up even more. Camilla Bernal has the details.
This is your cartridge.
Sinks, faucets, and shower heads. Home basics that could soon be a lot more expensive.
Has it been busy?
The ripple effects of President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs concerning for shoppers like Brent Myers, who is remodeling his Los Angeles home.
It's the house, it's the car, it's all sorts of worries.
Russ Diamond, president of home store Snyder Diamond, says some of his vendors are already raising their prices.
I got a notice last night from one of our vendors in the UK apologizing for the short notice, but their price is going up Monday. We would have to most likely pass that on to our consumer.
The fear of price increases also causing an uptick in customers, many of their purchases coming from overseas.
Even though they're recognizable names of U.S. companies, a lot of times they're made in Mexico.
This manufacturer from the UK, and this one here is from France. This Canadian one saying they're already planning a 15% price increase. And it's not just appliances. The cost of toys, phones, cars, all expected to spike.
Especially with a growing family, it's just really tough to kind of predict how to allocate your money when you're just trying to save all of it.
But some say the sacrifice is worth it.
I'm worried that things are going up, and I know my investments have tanked because of the retaliation. But I think Donald Trump is doing the right thing. We have to have manufacturing jobs in our country.
Everyone hoping the economic pain is temporary. Camila Bernal, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And stick around. Coming up after the break, we'll walk you through our first alert forecast. Big surf and trade winds are the story. The details coming up.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Big surf and trade winds is the story today. And really, the trade winds are going to be sticking around for the long haul. We're going to be seeing them all the way into this upcoming weekend. We're really seeing a summer-like pattern out there. The trade winds blowing in, some windward showers out there. Let's break down the overall weather pattern. Of course, our winds outside right now. You can see the overall east-northeasterly flow out there. And in town, we're actually seeing trade winds around 20 miles per hour out of the northeast. So a little bit gusty, a little bit breezy at times. These are our sustained winds. Kahului seeing around 26 miles per hour. A little bit more variable over near Hawaii Island. Breaking down your island by island forecast over on Kauai, scattered showers. Most of these are windward showers, mind you. Remember, the trade winds are blowing a little bit of the moisture towards the windward areas. Leeward areas will mostly be sunny. Sunny in Kapolei tomorrow, 84 in town, 79 in Kaneohe, a little bit more cloudy. cloud cover out there will keep us a little bit cooler. Maui County, isolated showers, mostly sunny. And moving over to the island of Maui, 84 in Kahului, 82 in Kihei. And over on Hawaii Island, a little bit foggy because of the trade winds blowing the fog off towards the Kona coast of Hawaii Island. 82 in Hilo, showers are likely, mostly cloudy conditions and partly sunny on the northern portions of Hawaii Island. Breaking down the first alert futurecast, you can see really we're not seeing that much moisture out there. A little bit of a chance for showers, mostly focused over windward areas again. And then really it's going to be a little bit drier Tuesday evening. Some moisture still hanging around the windward areas of Hawaii Island and Maui as we're going into Wednesday evening. This is a very typical summer-like pattern. We're seeing the trade winds blow in a few of these showers, and a little bit more cloud cover over windward areas as well. Again, surf is also the other big story today. We've got high surf advisories up on northwest and east facing shores of Kauai and Oahu, and it's north and west facing shores of Molokai, the north facing shores of Maui, and the windward portions of Hawaii Island until 6 a.m. on Tuesday. You can see in our surf and shoreline forecast for this afternoon, north facing shores around 14 to 18 feet, west facing shores 8 to 12, seeing a little bit of a boost in town, east facing shores a little bit messy out there for Monday afternoon as well. And a quick look at our first alert radar and satellite. Not much to talk about. A few showers possible out there, but really it's mostly dry out there. There's some showers actually moving in towards the southeastern portions of Hawaii Island. That's really the bulk of it right now. Your first alert 7-day forecast, pretty much copy and paste over the next couple of days. A little bit more sunshine today, mostly sunny tomorrow. Those trade winds are sticking around for the long haul.
Thank you, Drew. Still to come, we're 1 week away from the grand opening of the new Dave & Buster's at Ala Moana Center. Casey Lund gives us a sneak peek in 2 minutes. For a lot of local families, excitement has been building for the new Dave & Buster's location at Ala Moana.
And it's set to open just 1 week from today. Casey Lund was able to give us a sneak peek.
Oh, we're grateful for the opportunity 1 week out to show you around the Dave & Buster's space here. A bunch of new games. They actually only brought over like maybe 5-6 games from the old Ward location. A lot of new features that are exclusive to Dave & Buster's. Check this out, this arena. It's a game where you step in. You're kind of part of this virtual space. You get to play. It keeps you active, some mind games. And then this brand new bar area, social bays with darts, shuffleboard, things like that. And then, of course, a 40-person, 40-seat bar and and the giant screen people are familiar with for Dave & Buster's. Andrew Shimabukura is with us this morning. General Manager, tell us a little bit about, again, what this space represents for the brand. I know it's been a long time coming, moving over here, a lot of excitement. You guys are ready.
Oh yeah, we're ready. We're ready to go. Very excited. Brand new space from Ward. New everything in the building. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Tell me about some of the things that you're excited to show people. Some things. We walked by the arena. I was actually jumping in there earlier today while we were on the air. Tell me a little bit about some things that people might be excited to see when they come here to this new space next week.
Just the game room alone is huge. It's almost double the size of what we used to have. We also have social bays, including our darts and our shuffleboards, and then of course the big screen TV and a VIP room. So it's all inclusive.
I want to ask you too, as somebody that has been with the company for quite a while, opened the location at Ward. What's this like for you and for your team? Imagine a little bittersweet.
A little bit bittersweet. You know, a lot of my long timers that have been here from day one didn't want to see that place go, but they're very excited to be here now.
Yeah, and then speaking of employees and team members, where are you right now in training and hiring people? I imagine you need it's a little bit of bigger space, and just when the excitement, I imagine you guys are going to be busy. I'm sure you're still looking for team members. Tell me a little bit about how many.
Yeah, we're looking for about a dozen to 2 dozen more team members. You know, we hired a little bit over 100 people, and we brought all the team members over from the Ward location. So we're definitely where we want to be, but we'd like to have a little bit more.
Yeah, and for good reason, because I think, like I had mentioned just now, when you guys open the doors on the 14th, we're probably expecting a crowd.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But the best thing about it is for the first 100 guests that come in our doors that day on the 14th, you'll get unlimited video gameplay all day long.
Very good. And then I hear there's something called a human crane here as well. Tell me about that.
Yes, human crane. We're going to strap you in a harness, and we're going to lower you down into the pit, and you can pick up whatever prize down there that you want.
Oh, man, it's so much to be excited for. And I know it's an exciting time for you folks and all the team members that are proud to represent this brand. Bring it over here to this space at Ala Moana. Reminder that they open in a week from today, April 14th. And he mentioned that deal for the first 100 folks that come through the doors. If you want more information about employment opportunities, you can find that at HawaiiNewsNow.com. Just look for the As Seen on Sunrise section of our homepage. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Thank you, Kay. So fun. What's your game?
Connect 4 basketball.
Oh,
I saw him. He was playing it this morning.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm skee ball. I like old school. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. More news at 4.